welcome to another live. Sorry about that. So, for those who are trying to exercise after CS, postpartum CS, make sure to get a clearance from your healthcare providers. Make sure your doctor has given you a pass and has said you're good enough to go before you start exercising. I started exercising 7 weeks postpartum. I had a clearance at 6 weeks. My doctor said I was good to start exercising 6 weeks postpartum. So we heal differently. Everybody has a different space, time frame for healing. I just want to put this out there as a disclaimer, so you make sure that you have that cleared out before you take any information that I'm going to give in this live. Because a lot of you, we just see a video or you see a shot and you go with what you have seen in that short space of time without understanding what it is that requires you before you get to that spot. So before you are a CS mom, make sure you have a clearance with your healthcare providers. Make sure that they have said you're clean to start exercising. I was good to go at 7 weeks and I had a CS at 41 years old. At 10:42, 3 months later after my baby. So you hear 41, 42 all the time. So it was different for me. It was difficult, but I did it. It was difficult to lose weight at that age after having a baby. And it was still as a CS mother at the first time at that age. My first baby was not a CS birth. I had a natural birth for my first baby. So having this experience at this point was a little bit different for me. So since those are the videos that have attracted a lot of us, I want to put this disclaimer out here. Please take care of yourself by listening to your healthcare providers. If they say you're good to go, then you can start exercising. I am not the healthcare provider who did a surgical procedure on you. I cannot tell you that because I started at 7 weeks postpartum, you should start at 7 weeks postpartum. That will not be right. So take everything I say in here after you must have gotten a clearance, after you've been cleared by your doctor and said you're good to start exercising. Then you can start taking advices from those of us who are talking from outside. But first things first, your healthcare provider gives you the right information for when you should start exercising. Good morning. I'm glad to finally catch you here. Yes, I made a promise I will show up every Saturday at 8 a.m. Central. It is at my time, on my clock back there, it's 8 a.m. I show up on time. I try to keep to my word. I'm one of those who believe that I believe in what I say. I do what I say. I don't just say things for other people to do it. I put in practice the words that come out of my mouth. So sometimes when you hear me going out and saying a lot of things with a lot of confidence, it's because I'm putting in practice those things that I say. Make it a priority to exercise regularly. Make it a priority to drink plenty of water, especially breastfeeding mothers. You need more water to aid breastfeeding, not more food. A lot of us have that misconception because of where we are coming from. I'm an African, and a lot of times we are being told to eat more after we have had babies so that it can aid with the breast milk flow. That's what our parents tell us. That's what they were doing. And in that case, it's only making you gain more weight because the process of childbirth and having a baby and nurturing and nursing your baby, that procedure, it's aimed for you to start losing the weight, not for you to start gaining weight. If you start gaining weight, that means you're taking in way too much calories than you're expected to aid with your breast milk flow. Your breast milk flow will have more, better milk flow when you drink more water, more fluid. Excessive water will aid with your milk production. Just as it is, there are people who have massive producers. There are people who produce breast milk that can feed babies for the whole neighborhood. And there are people like us who are not massive producers, who can produce just for the one babies we have. So take, for instance, if this person who is a massive producer is eating in the quantity that they say that they are supposed to eat in order for them to produce milk, how much food do you expect that person to eat to produce the milk that they need for the massive production? So before we make ourselves convinced in spaces that are going to hold us back, we should first of all look at the causes and the consequences of our actions. Eating excessively after childbirth is the cause of why a lot of mothers have mommy pouch. Eating excessively after childbirth is the reason why a lot of us have mommy pouch. And we don't like to hear about people talking about it because, first of all, going through childbirth is already a traumatic experience. And feeling like someone is telling you that your eating habit is a problem feels like they're not being considerate. They're not understanding what you're going through. And so they should just let you be. Nobody should talk to you about your eating habits. And so instead of us touching on that point for us to change those things, a lot of us have used sympathy to encourage ourselves to stay stagnant with body weights that we do not like. A lot of us have encouraged ourselves on the opposite side. No, you need to eat more. You're breastfeeding. Just go ahead. You eat. You know, a nursing mother needs to eat more. Go ahead. You need that. Keep eating. And they're welcoming you into the life of misery. A person that is telling you to eat more, watch that person if the person has had babies. And watch if they have lost the weight of the babies they had. If they're telling you to keep eating. And see the consequences of your actions in a few years down the road. And because you do not want that, and you understand better that in order for you to produce more milk for your baby, to have enough breast milk for your baby, you need to drink more water, not eat more food, so that you understand what you're doing and not be fattening yourself during childbirth instead of nourishing yourself to feed the baby with the enough food that you're eating for one. A lot of times when I hear that I'm eating for two, this question comes to mind. If you're eating for two for a mother who has had one baby, a mother who has quadruplets, is she eating for four? In order for her to nurture those babies, will she need to eat for four? And because God is not that stupid as the way man thinks God is, we come up with those excuses so that we can make ourselves comfortable. God is not that dumb. A mother with 4 kids eats for one and nurtures those babies. A mother with 1 kid eats for one and nurtures her baby. So before we come up with all these strategies to become fattening members of the community that loves misery, of baby pouch that we do not like, let's sit back and reason for ourselves. It is not possible to eat for 4 at the same time when you're not nursing 4 babies. When do you eat? When do you have the time to be eating fat? When you have babies to breastfeed every other 2 or 3 hours. You don't have that time. So before we convince ourselves with this notion of eating more after we have had a baby, and if we are called out by it, we are feeling offended, we should first of all understand the consequences of our actions to our body and how the result of afterbirth has become something that we think is normal for us to gain weight after childbirth. A lot of us have made it normal. You see someone that is big, the next answer that comes after that is that they have just had a baby. And that's how we are normalizing it. And we do not like it. That's even the annoying part. We are normalizing what we do not like. We have normalized what we do not want. And it's slowly becoming a real problem. That's why we all are trying to find solutions. And I can only share my own solutions based on my own experiences. After I had my CS, 7 weeks postpartum clearance from my doctor, I started exercising. I put on a waist trainer immediately after the CS. Before I could recover from my surgical procedure, I already had a waist binder on. The doctors already bind me together. That means they understand that a woman needs to get back. Even health understands that you need to get back to where you were before. You need to compress the body after you have let it loose for the 9 months of pregnancy. It needs a compression for it to come back together. What do some of us do? We are picking at everybody that we see that they are trying to do that. Let your body free. Give your body some grace. And at the same time, we turn around and we're asking why the mommy pouch is not going away. How is it going to go away when you're not holding it together? How is it going to go away when you're not putting it together to go back to where it came from? So before we make it a lifestyle of making excuses to stay stagnant, let's first of all find solutions, because they are out there. And the best way to go about it after you have had a CS is to start by using a surgical binder. Start by tying that stomach, using a waist trainer, tie it, compress it. Use, have you seen these people who do BBL or tummy tuck um, or breast implant, any of those cosmetic surgical procedures? Do you see what they put on their body to put the body together? You see those things they call faja, those very strong and tight equipment or body suits. Those are the things you should be looking out for after you have had a baby, so you can compress and put that body back to where it was before you had the baby. If not, the body is loose. It's just going to stay loose, and it's not going to go back as to how it was before you had the baby. Because a lot of people pay very high to get those cosmetic surgical procedures done, they are trying to protect their beauty. So they're pushing through the pain. They're not worried about the pain of the surgical procedure. Those who go through cosmetic surgery, they'll put on those fajas. They'll put on those things that are tight. They'll put on the waist trainer that you can't even breathe inside. But when it comes to us mommies, after we have had babies, we have all the excuses in the book. All of it. And we feel offended when we are being reminded that the baby pouch is not as a result of you having a baby. It's as a result of your choices. You feel offended when they say that. It's as a result of your eating habits. And until we change those eating habits, we'll continue to feel offended. Because to stay longer on a route that is wrong, it takes a lot of discipline to make a U-turn and get out of it. It takes a mind change to get out of that space. And a lot of people, they are not willing to face the truth. But we are trying to lose weight. We are all trying to lose weight. But don't try to touch the truth. Just try to tell us how to lose weight without telling us the truth. It's not possible. I don't know how to sugarcoat things. I don't know how to tell lies. If I knew how, maybe I would have, but I don't. So move more, eat less, drink plenty of water, exercise regularly. And by 7 weeks, when I started exercising, it wasn't just coming to me like I'm easily doing this now. If you see most of the videos, I'm struggling through. Look at my face, not just the movement, not just the body that has changed. You'll see pain in my eyes. I was pushing through that pain. I was moving my body, but I was feeling the pain. I was feeling the ache of the incision. But what did I do? I kept going. I kept moving. I called my doctor on the day I had saw my incision bleeding. And he said, it's from the exercise. And if it keeps bleeding, let me come in. But by the end of the day, it stopped bleeding. That was the early period. That was at 7 weeks postpartum. No, I had not started exercising. That was like 3 weeks postpartum. But I was having the waist trainer on. My surgical binder was on. I kept that thing on my body 6 weeks straight. The only times I took them off was when I was taking a shower. A surgical binder was on my body, regardless of what I was doing. I had it on. It also played as a reminder of how much I was eating. Because if that thing is tight, how can I eat so much when it's feeling tight? And what a lot of us do is that we take it off to eat. We don't know what we are doing to ourselves. We take it out so we can put food in the space. You're going through a discomfort of childbirth, of surgical procedure. You're feeling some kind of discomfort. And yet your taste in your mouth is what you're more concerned with. Instead of listening to how your body is telling you that, the more you're eating, the more you're fattening me. And so this thing is tight and uncomfortable because there is too much food in here. You take it off so you can give it more room. And you're wondering, how come it that I'm gaining so much weight when I'm breastfeeding? a breastfeeding mother, that's why I'm gaining weight. No, it's your eating habit. It's your choices of how you eat. So when you choose to eat differently, then you start seeing different results. That was what I did. And like I said, I only share what I did for myself. And I believe that it works. And those that have done it, those I've talked to, those I've mentored, are doing the same thing and they're seeing different results. So if you choose to continue to make the excuses, I don't have the answers to your excuses. I can only tell you what the truth is, and that your eating habit is the reason why you're gaining weight. It's not because you had a CS. It's not because you had a baby. It's because you choose to eat uncontrollably. You choose to listen to your cravings instead of listening to how the food was reacting on your body. And until you change that, you're going to continue to use babies as a reason why women are supposed to be fat after childbirth. I've gained weight because I've had a baby. No, no to that. No, it's our eating habit. And we get offended when we are being called out of it. It's a difficult route, I know. Having babies is nothing to play about. It's something that is, your life is one way. You're either, it's a 50-50 chance when you're getting into the labor room. It's something that women go through. It's difficult. And then to use it as another reason why you're gaining weight after that, after you've had the mercy of God to go through it, then you're now using it as a reason why you're gaining weight. You need to start changing that mentality so it doesn't become stagnant on your body. You just have too much around you. You got good food around you. You got people who love you. They're cooking good food and coming around to see the baby. It doesn't mean that you should be eating everything that everybody brings. That was another thing that really got me when I had my first son. You have, especially in Africa, when I had my first son, I was back in Cameroon. And when people come to visit, they come with food. When they come to see the baby, they bring food. A lot of times it's food. Yes, there are other people who bring gifts, but a lot of times it's food. Your family members, they come with food. And people think that you're not being respectful or you're not loving them if you're not eating every food that everybody brings. What? Okay, for instance, I used to have like 10 visitors in a day. So you all expect me to eat everybody's meal because I've had a baby. And they will look at you funny for not doing that. Look at them back really straight up in their faces and say, I've had a meal. I appreciate what you have brought to me. And I'm going to save this for the rainy days, for tomorrow or the day after. I'm not going to sit here and be fattening myself. It's terrible. Until we change that mentality, a lot of us are going to keep fattening ourselves after childbirth. And it makes it more difficult. It doesn't mean that losing weight at any stage is easier. I'm just saying that let's not use that as an opportunity to fatten ourselves, to make it more difficult. After we have had the kids, you're unable to run around. You're able to do anything for yourself because we think that we need more food in order for us to lose weight. Mind you, how many minutes I've been on this live, my feet have been moving. I've been exercising. Even though I've not grabbed no dumbbells, no kettlebells, I've been exercising. I'm sweating profusely. I'm creating time. I'm using one stone and shooting two birds. I'm creating content and I'm exercising for myself at the same time. I could make excuses. I could say, you know what, I'm not going to be live. I'll just make sure that I make this video and I post it. And that's fine. That's a choice. But at the same time, I've chosen to use one stone to shoot two birds. I've chosen to be exercising at the same time and be live at the same time. That gives me a double benefit. So it comes back to you. When you choose to be nurturing your baby and feeding fat, you're gaining weight. Another person would choose to nurture the baby and watch their weight at the same time, and they keep losing the weight. So it's all about choices, how we choose to go about it. and how we choose to make it a lifestyle, not a seasonal quick fix, not something that we are going to show up on Monday and not show up on Tuesday, show up again on Thursday and send Mirabel a message that I started stepping and I'm not losing weight. How do I lose weight faster? After you don't want to change your eating habit, but you're sending me an email to ask me, when do you start seeing those numbers dropping? And I'm sitting here and I'm ranting, giving unsolicited advice that you should cut down on your food intake. Then you stop messaging me because I've said you should stop eating to fatten your body. You expected me to tell you that you should continue stepping. That was your expectation of what you expected as my response. And since it didn't meet your expectation, my response did not meet your expectation, you took off. You don't want to hear that it's about your eating habits, that you're gaining weight. You want me to tell you to go and buy the best stepper on the market. You're asking me what brands I'm using. I've had questions on brands more than my eating habits. And every time I answer about eating habit, I lose followers. Because people don't want to hear about eating habits. They want to hear about the name brands. Your eating habit is a brand on its own. That's your brand. How you eat. And it shows. It's right there. How I eat, this is it. I don't like to sugarcoat it. I show up because I know that how I'm eating, it's how it's going to show up. I'm not going to cover it up and lie that it's about the stepper when I know it's my eating habit. This stepper gives me just 20% of everything else that I do to lose weight. The plate of food I eat, every time I eat it, it gives me 80% of my weight loss. So when you send me a message and ask that, you started stepping and you're not seeing changes, and I reply to you that you should reduce your food intake and you stop communicating, you're doing it to yourself. I'm not being rude, I'm not being arrogant, I'm being honest. And maybe you don't like honesty. It's your food. It's not my kind of stepper that is going to change that weight in your body. You and I can use the same brand every single day, but my results are going to be different because I've mastered how to eat. I've mastered how to change my eating habit. I know that this exercise I'm doing here, it aids for 20%. The 80% is more about how I eat. And so I'm doing it consistently. I'm doing it constantly. And I'm staying focused on the fact that every time I put anything in my mouth, I'm conscious of whether it is nourishing or it is fattening. And because I want to nourish, I do not want to fatten, I stay focused on nourishing. But you don't like to hear that. It makes you feel uncomfortable. It makes you feel like I'm calling you out. I'm saying that you're eating too much. How else should I say it? How else should I say it? I don't know. But anywho, there are people who love to hear it and who love to make it a priority for it to ring in their minds that the problem is coming from the food. See, just don't get confused with a lot of us creators who are putting different meals on social media and showing you that this is what you need to eat. And so you can convince yourself that the reason why you're not losing weight is because you're not eating what I'm eating. A lot of us Africans who are exercising, we don't show our fufu as part of what we are eating. And that's what I eat regularly. I eat fufu, I eat rice, I eat vegetables. I eat food that I was raised with. What Nigerians call afa, we call it ero. I eat that every single day, every once in a week or so. I eat the other vegetable, we call it, locally we call it jamanjama. I eat it. I eat bitter leaves. I eat greens. Those are our food. But you hardly see them on social media with us content creators sharing that it's still healthy and that we should continue to eat them, but now in smaller quantities. No, we all think that broccoli is the reason why we are not losing weight. We think that carrots are the reason why we are not losing weight. We think that because we don't eat leaves, that somebody has put tomatoes in the middle. It's the reason why we are not losing weight. The reason you're not losing the weight is because the food you've been nourishing your body with, regardless of what culture you're coming from, which has been very healthy. That's why you're not sick, because it has sustained you unto where you are today. The reason why you're not losing weight is because you're eating a lot of it. You're enjoying your traditional meals. You're enjoying your local meals. And so you're enjoying them in large quantities, the quantities that have been normalized. And so in order for you to start making the changes for your weight to drop, you got to cut down on those quantities because the food is healthy, extremely healthy, organic, healthy food. The problem is the quantity. So don't get carried away by broccoli and carrots and whatever that make people think that they are not losing weight because they are not eating all of that. Get carried away with the mentality of the fact that the quantity is the problem. If you have been able to sustain yourself to where you are today, be it 12 years, 13, 15, 40, 30, 25 years, and it's now you're trying to lose weight, all through your years, all through your age, all through the time you were put on this earth, if those things you were eating were unhealthy, you will not be here trying to lose weight. You would have been gone a long time ago. It will take you out. Food is either nourishing, food is a potion that heals or kills. It didn't kill you. It didn't send you to the hospital. It didn't make you sick. It means it was good. The problem is the quantity. You got so carried away with the taste. And you know how our ladies know how to put their foot in the pot. They know how to put it down. Some of us know how to do what we do in the kitchen. We do it with excellence. It has carried us away. It has carried our minds and our thoughts on how to eat away. Now we don't rationalize the portion because the taste is overwhelming. We know how to do it. That means we have been eating well. It's not the number of different accomplishments, accompaniment. What do they call them? The little extras that you add on your plate that makes you eating healthy or eating well. Those extras are the extra tires that are developing here. Those extras are the reasons why this pot has a little bit of extra. Those extras are the reason why this pot is together. It can't separate. Those extras are the reason why this pot is hanging out. Eat to nourish your body. Don't eat to fatten it. Because the extras only give the extra body parts we do not want. Extra. Eat to nourish it, not to fatten it. And you'll feel better every single day. You'll feel great every single day. You will not feel exhausted. See, do you know why a lot of people have become candidates for medications that aid with bloating? We all need supplements that aid with bloating. I don't remember the last time I felt any bloating. I don't remember it. I think when I was in college or so, sometime back then, I don't remember it. Because I understood that bloating comes from the kinds of food that I eat. If I eat something that makes me feel bloated, especially beans, why in God's name will I get up tomorrow and eat beans again when I know it's going to create me a problem? If I eat something that is too much, like fufu, if I eat it in a larger quantity, I won't even be able to get up from the seat that I'm sitting because the quantity already makes me feel tired and heavy. So why will I go eating in that large portion When it's making me tired and lazy, I want to be energetic and active. So food talks to us when we put it in our system. We shut it down because of our taste, because of our cravings. We shut it out. You know some people who will tell you that immediately after I eat, I just want to sleep. You are a candidate for underlying health conditions. Your body is responding to you. Your body is telling you that the way you eat, you eat like you're going to break, like you're a bodybuilder, but you're not going to exercise as a bodybuilder. You eat and you just want to sleep. That means your organs are tired. That means your gut health is not working properly. That's why you eat and you just want to sleep. You've eaten too much. So the result, the consequence is that go and sleep. And once you do that, you're messing up yourself more. Because instead of sleeping, you need to exercise so you can aid to digest that food faster. You see a lot of us who say things like that, and we are so comfortable with how we are saying them because we don't know the consequences. Some of us have become permanent candidates or customers to weight loss teas, to toxic, what's that? I don't even know their names. Because we don't want to change our eating habits. We want to buy those detox teas on Friday, so that on Saturday, we are on the toilet pot, shaking everything out for hours. For hours. On Sunday morning, you look like you've been dehydrated. Your eyes are popping out of your face. You're dehydrated from everything that has been flushed out. You repeat the cycle of eating terribly on Monday, so you can take more detox tea on Friday. You're harming yourselves. You're hurting yourselves. Find a lifestyle that is going to be more healthy. Those things, those ingredients that are used to make detox teas, that are used to produce those things that you say you're buying, majority of them are food items. They're food items. Why not include that in your food items in smaller quantities so that your gut health is taken care of every single day? It's fiber. Why not include fiber in your food intake so that you are going regularly to the bathroom? Instead of looking for one day at the end of every week, after you eat like you are a bodybuilder or a bricklayer, but you're not. You don't do the exercise for the bodybuilder. You're just eating like a bodybuilder. Then on Friday, you want to shake it out. And then you start all over again on Monday. You're a candidate for situations that you will not like. Eat less, move more, drink plenty of water. If you have a gut health issue, take a lot of fiber. Consult with your healthcare providers. Make sure you fix whatever it is that is bothering you inside, so you don't keep fattening yourself, so you can become a better version of yourself. All right, people. I think we have done the 30 minutes of talking, and I hope we understand something and somebody picked something out of all of that ranting and unsolicited advice. I hope we become better versions of ourselves. I hope we are able to make better choices every single day. It is not a seasonal quick fix, it is a lifestyle. You stay consistent and you see results. Every time you want to add an extra spoonful in your mouth, remember, it's going to add an extra pound of weight somewhere that you don't like. Any extra plate of food, extra arm, extra plate of food, extra thighs that are moving together, that are rubbing together, and you don't like it. Nobody likes thighs that are rubbing together hard. They hurt. So every time you increase your food intake, remember how it makes you feel when your thighs are rubbing together. Every time you want to increase food intake, remember how much your stomach makes you feel when you look at it. so you can stop fattening yourself, so you can nourish yourself and become a better version of yourself. Let's all stay safe. Let's all stay blessed. Let's all stay positive and be the very best versions of ourselves. God bless you all. See you all tomorrow. Stepper and treadmill, lost 10 pounds. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Well-balanced diet. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Keep going, my dear friend. Don't stop. Don't stop. Oh, I track my weight every day. That's what I'm talking about. Let's make some changes, people. Let's make some changes. I wish I could read all of what you guys are saying there. It's so beautiful. And I'm happy that you guys are making some necessary changes to yourselves. We all can do it. We all can do it. We are doing it together. I've said I'll show up here every Saturday. For those who want to do it every day, I'm live on Facebook every day, Mondays through Saturdays at 7 a.m. You can catch me on Facebook. We continue every single day. We make changes. It is possible. Let's not confine ourselves in places that we are uncomfortable. Let's make the necessary changes so we can become better version of ourselves. I'm happy you guys are seeing the results already. It's amazing to read those results. You guys keep going forward. See you all on Saturday. God bless you.